She felt I rested in my shoulder was the perfect height. We fit so right. So what's going on? 'Cause I've been undone. The long drive coastline, looking at the first light with my step on her mind. I've been undone. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone out on the West Coast. We gotta get back, we can't let this go. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone who don't care what it costs. No rain, sunlight, ever long, ever long.
I liked a book called Before the Fall by Noah Hawley, who's the guy that I think he wrote the TV series Fargo. And so did you like that? Yeah, that was good, right? And so he wrote a kind of really cool thriller called Before the Fall, which I read, which was just a very entertaining read and interesting, and turned pages very quickly. I like this guy called Richard Ford, who's written some kind of different style of book. It's more just I feel like stories about people's lives and that hit you in the heart. And then I also, every now and then, I like to read a sports person's biography or autobiography, or someone else's autobiography. So, and which it's not always they're not always great books, but they sometimes have really good stories in them about their lives. So that kind of thing. I guess music gives you a lot of room to evolve because you can explore different songwriting, and you can explore different instruments and I don't know, just there's lots of ways you can be curious and try new things. I like to be in a movie of some sort, maybe like if I was just a character that was playing guitar in a bar while the action's happening, and then they're like some interaction with me, I'm like, oh hey, can I play you a cover? Or something like this. But I'll let them write the character, but something like that would be good. I'd be happy to say that I'd be even in a small part in a movie or a TV show. For the lyrics, I find that I type things I hear or read in books or just things that come into my head. I type them into my phone on my notes. So I have a bit of a kind of a database of ideas, and when I'm writing a song, I will flick through that and see if any of those lines fit in the song, and if they start to kind of snowball into a full song. And I get inspired by, usually it's if it might be a great book or anything that kind of makes me feel something, or a song that hits me in the heart, any of those things. And also just hanging out with my friends and family, having like a good moment of connection with other people. So that I think that as well can inspire some kind of burst of creativity. And yeah, when I listen to other music that I love, I think that makes me think, okay, I want to try and do something like that. It was a lot of touring. So I released my album at the end of 2014, and I toured until the start of 2015. Then all through 2015, I was opening for Taylor Swift on her 1989 tour. And then start of 2016, for the first 3 or 4 months, I was touring. So I was trying to get ideas and I tried to start writing songs, but I didn't really complete many songs over that period. And then for that whole year, 2016 and for 2017, I was writing songs, and every time I'd written 2 songs or 3 songs, I'd go and record them. So I was kind of chipping away at completing an album. So it was a slow process, and in around that time, I was living in Melbourne, and then I'd go and do some writing in America, and I'd stay in an Airbnb for a couple of weeks. So it was a funny time. I enjoyed it, and I felt inspired for a lot of it. But when I think about it now, I don't know if I really want to I do the end of this tour, and then it's like, oh, do I have to go back and like live in Airbnbs forever again? Airbnbs are good. It's just like, you know, I had enough. There was enough. I'd spent enough time alone in Airbnbs watching episodes of The Office for like. I've done enough of that. So I don't know. I don't want to go back into that exactly. So I think it was necessary so I could write the songs. But I think the next time I do this, I'll put more holidays in there or something. There is no very vague ideas. I think I've got maybe a couple of, you know, lyrics that I've collected so far. So I think I'm just hopefully getting the wheels turning again. And I've really enjoying this tour. Like I didn't know, it's been a long year of touring, but this feels like it's just fresh and you know, in a whole different part of the world that we've never toured before, playing to people we've never met, and it's just feels more exciting than that feels bad, but you know, it does feel very exciting, so it's good. It's nice to know that my music is like, you know, being embraced so far away from home. I think my expectations when I started was just to really record a couple of songs, you know, make them sound as good as they possibly could, or as good as I could make them, and then to get gigs in Melbourne. And then I guess about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, these opportunities to play around the world started to come in, and we started walking through all these different doors. And I've definitely become used to the touring life, and that took a while to it took me a while to get adjusted to that. So it's really nice. I think a good thing that helps with creativity is that if you go across the world and you're in the wrong time zone, and you feel like your soul is still catching up to you, sometimes in those moments you can have a burst of creativity, and it might lead to a song. So I think that in some ways touring the world can help you stay inspired, or at least help you write songs, it kind of feeds itself. It's like you're touring, and then you're also getting ideas for songs, and that will help you continue to tour. So I can see how it might be. Yeah, that is a way you can make it work. When we were touring the first album, we were playing a couple of festival shows where we introduced a horn section, just to, I guess, create a bit of excitement and to make the songs, you know, more full. And so, after playing live with a horn section, I guess in my head when I was writing songs, or in the studio when we were producing them, you just hear like opportunities where horns could be really good, and so. I would just be playing in the studio, and I'd think, oh, this could be a horn line, like, it wouldn't be that, but you know, something like that. And I just would hear these places where horns would sound good, and so we just, I guess we fell in love with what it's like to play with horns, and so that's why they're on the album so much. And I think you just learn from your experience making an album, and you want to just try things you haven't tried before. So I think we all had, you know, a learning experience making the first album. Myself, my musical director Ed, and also you know, you're working with a producer that has a whole like life of experience. So I think we didn't change the formula of what we did. We just kind of explored just slightly new areas. So I don't know what the next thing will be, but it might be going back to a more, you know, quiet place, or it might go more in the other direction. I really have no idea. Well, so I didn't know what to expect when I was hoping it would be amazing, and I'd heard, you know, great things last year when we went to Sao Paulo for Lollapalooza, and I was blown away by how, you play a festival, and often at a festival people aren't there to see you necessarily, but they're getting introduced to your music. But I felt like at that show that they were like there to see me, and they made us feel very special because they were singing every song, even songs that I wouldn't expect them to know at all. Deep album tracks they were singing, so the energy was electric. And then so last night we played in Sao Paulo, and I kind of knew that it could be really great. And then I could hear them singing. They were singing along to all our playlist that we play before we go on stage. So they were singing along to all these songs, and I was thinking, this is going to be a good show. And then they were the loudest, most excited crowd we've ever played to. So yeah, I don't know what's in the water here. Maybe it's just people's attitude to life is just to be passionate and to love life. But that is just yeah. As a person on stage, that's all you can hope for, is that people are just enjoying themselves, and it makes me enjoy it. It's like a great back and forth. So my brother came here 2 years ago for the Olympics for his work, and he loves this place, and he loved being here, and he sent me a few recommendations, and he actually sent me a video, and he said it's going to be a bit crazy, and he told me that there's a candidate that's this guy. He sent me a video. It was an interview with Stephen Fry. Interviewed him, and yeah, it can be, yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't want to get in trouble, but yeah, it seems like he's could be very divisive and yeah, scary. Sometimes people with these kind of old ideas that can be that when they're influential, it can be scary. So yeah, I hope that yeah, I hope whatever that. Hope someone really good gets into power. Someone with good values, but yeah. Hopefully.